Hey guys, I'm Zach.
And I'm Rick.
And we are here at the Covenant Store Tulsa. You'll actually see me playing on the left and Rick on the right. We are playing a game of Imperial Assault Skirmish, the Lost Knowledge scenario on the Messiah Ruins map. And we are here. We're going to be doing a series of skirmish games for Imperial Assault to kind of show off the format in the game for those of you who may not have played it yet or maybe are new to the game and just interested to see how it works. So, Lost Knowledge, the scenario... We're both players are trying to get to 40 points, as you'll see on the screen. Each of those objectives is worth 10 points. Those are holocrons that models can pick up. If a model picks a holocron up and takes it to the Imperial token, you see on the right side of the map there, they can drop it off for 10 points. That's 10 of the 40 points required to win the scenario. The other way to get points in Imperial Assault Skirmish is to destroy enemy models. If you destroy an entire group of models, there's a point cost associated with each group. You'll score that many points. First player to 40 wins, and here we go.
We are in it now. Looks like Vader is already getting right up in the action.
Yeah, so go ahead and run down your list really quick, and then I'll hit my list right after that.
Yeah, so I'm running a few Imperial officers because they are incredible.
They are. For 2 points, it's crazy.
It is crazy. A bunch of droids, and one of them elite, 3 of them non-elite, I believe. We've got some Trandoshans. And then we have IG-88.
The king of the list.
The king of the list.
So what was your thought going into building this list? I know you're really excited about all the droid synergy and whatnot, but give me a peek behind why this list hit the table.
Interestingly, the droid synergy was, and there being so many droids, was sort of a second afterthought. The original idea with this list was to make a scum list, and I want to run IG-88 and Boba Fett. But as Boba Fett is not out yet...
He's not currently in existence.
He does not exist. I filled his points up with a bunch of droids because I wanted to see how that would work.
Yeah, and there's also some of the command cards that trigger off of all your droids, right? So that was
it gives every droid an extra action.
Which is a big deal. Activations are a huge deal.
There's healing for droids, things like that. And I just threw a bunch of those cards in there to sort of see what they were like. Also, if you'll notice, I have an insane amount of actions because I have many cards. Yeah. So I thought maybe that would be fun too.
Or it's 9. I think it's 9.
9, yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3,
It's roughly 9. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm
it is 10.
On the left side here. I'm running what I've been calling Vader's Fist.
9.
It's basically any list with Vader in it. You can call it that.
That's the fist.
Yeah, basically. But it's 4 officers, 1 Royal Guard, 1 Stormtrooper, and Darth Vader, and that list is pretty good.
Yeah. So we're somewhat into the game now.
Yeah, we're taking our initial activations, which you've seen both. Both of us have been using officers, I think, a decent bit to officers having a special action to move another model and during their activation, which is nice. So that's how you see Vader in the middle of the board without having to go yet. And we've been taking turns alternating actions here. You basically exhaust a card every time you use a group or a model. I think you're shooting here, right? Maybe not. You're thinking about shooting?
I'm thinking about it, yeah. Well, it's interesting because the only model that you've really got out there are your toughest models. So you've got Vader peeking out the front, and
next to a Royal
Guard.
Guard.
Next to him, yeah.
And the Royal Guard gives Vader an extra block.
It makes him tougher.
And the Royal Guard itself is pretty tough.
Yeah, he's got a beefy 8 health, and I'm only sitting there with a droid.
Yeah, so you see, really, I guess here the officers playing a big role already, letting us move units without having to activate the units themselves. So I'll be curious to see.
Oh,
it looks like you're attacking. Moving in with a droid.
Here we go.
Shooting at the officer. I'm going to cancel a surge. I also have a free block from the Royal Guard.
Which is great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I did that. I think I'm trying to taunt you here. I think that was the intent.
Poke the bear.
Yeah, so poke the bear a little bit, put a droid right up next to the objective, so that if you go in there to attack me, you're not picking up the objective, but if you pick up the objective...
You're not attacking.
You're not attacking, and I can shoot you back.
Oh, I rerolled with Cower, and
Yeah.
got the basically dodge, just cancel all the damage, which is brutal because I think you had enough to kill me there. Actually, you had the range and the damage.
I did, but that X-Man, it stopped some things.
It's real.
Yeah, I try to get in there and take away one of your actions, kill one of those.
Yeah, if you can kill an officer there, that's a great exchange for you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, however, that that dodge
happened.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, looks like I'm going with another officer here, moving my other Royal Guard into position, and the officer down the board. And really, until this moment, it wasn't 100% obvious which direction I was going to go, which way. But I think interesting about the setups, right? So I set up where I could technically go either way, and I ended up going like towards the left of the board here. And your setup was particularly geared towards the right of the board. And I think that your thought was you could stop me from basically scoring the points even if I picked the things up.
So my thought.
Yeah, let's get macro here.
Let's get in there.
Yeah.
I knew that your list was significantly faster than mine. Not only do you have more officers than I do, or maybe the same amount of officers,
At
but
minimum the same.
what you do have is those.
Looks like my Royal Guard's
those
going
Royal
in and
Guards
picking up that.
and those guys. Oh yeah, he's got it. He's picked it up. But
All right,
but
so I'm
those
picking up
Royal
2
Guards.
this turn.
Those Royal Guards have a 5 movement speed, which nothing on my side can match. In fact, with those droids, I'm actually quite slow,
Yeah.
as the regular ones only have a 3 movement. And so I knew that there was no way that I was going to outspeed you here. So I was like, I know he's going to pick him up. So my thought is I'm going to run around the other side. I thought you might do this. So I positioned myself to be on the other side with IG-88 and some Trandoshans. And I was like, he's going to use his time picking him up, and then I can use my time killing him off.
Yep. And if you can kill my models, I'm doing half the work for you by moving the holocrons near you.
That's what I was saying. Just you basically wasting all your activations
yep.
if I'm able to kill your models.
Now, my theory is that my guys are tough enough to withstand a round of attacks, and I'll get to go score the points anyway. And now you move IG-88 around here with an officer, and it's, I think, going to end up being interesting positioning that we noticed later on in the game. But I do have 2 of the objectives here. Vader can technically pick up the 3rd one.
Yeah.
And then you've got a really interesting job of trying to get those from me. Because the guards are next to each other, so they're giving each other a free block.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't kill them, it's going to be really hard to stop me from getting on my next activation with 10 total movement. Even if you had dudes or guys all the way in between there.
It's true. You could potentially score, all 3 next turn, I believe. At least 2. So that's going to give you 20 points right there if you can score them before I kill you. If I can kill you, then I'm looking in a pretty good position, because then all you've got is Vader and a bunch of chumps, basically.
Yep. So it looks like a stormtrooper coming around shooting.
All you've got is Vader.
All you've got is Vader. Yeah.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Turns out.
So stormtrooper shooting the probe droid over there on the left.
Yeah.
Another stormtrooper coming, so now he'll get a reroll because he's next to a trooper. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the position here is interesting. And I think realizing what your list is capable and not capable of up front is very, that's very good to do.
And it looks like you killed that probe droid. He was out there.
2 stormtroopers.
2 stormtroopers in a row. Does some damage.
I moved the other stormtrooper next to the terminal on the bottom there. You can see.
Yeah, so he's going to pick up an extra card for you as long as you control that.
Yep.
Which you currently do.
Which I currently do.
Controlling, by the way, is when you have a model that is adjacent to an object, and your opponent does not.
Yep. Also, you'll notice the 3 points on the board for killing that probe droid on the bottom left now.
Yeah, we moved him around so we could tell how many points people had. And the lightsabers there on the left side bottom is the indicator of who has initiative for the turn.
All right, Vader did pick up the objective, and he's kind of hiding behind those Royal Guards.
And that red outline square means that I can either shoot through or see through that, or move through. Yeah. So you're totally blocked there from me.
Is Vader hiding?
I think he is. I mean, there's no reason not to. He couldn't really get in and attack anyone, so he might as well be safe for a turn.
Yep. There's no reason to risk damage, right? Or potentially bad effects like stun, even though you don't really have that on the board right now. I don't think.
It's true.
So this is pretty rough right now. So I've got all 3 objectives, all the holocrons, middle of the board, each worth 10 points if I can get them to the Imperial logo.
And you've already got 3 points from the probe droid that you killed.
And I've already taken away an activation and scored 3 points from it.
That's true. Whew. Yeah, so and now it looks like
I think IG-88 is shooting.
IG-88 is shooting those Royal Guards.
Now, IG-88 has +2 accuracy built in, right?
He does, and he also has, and this is why I think I went with him here, is he has Assault, which means that unlike every model that does not have Assault, he can attack
twice in an
2
activation,
times. Yeah. So I think
he also has, is it within 3 you deal a strain to the person if you're attacking them
which
within
is
3?
why you discarded your command deck there a little bit.
Yep. And it's interesting because if you'd had IG-88 up one more space here, because IG-88, the other thing that makes him really unique is that he gets to roll any attack dice he wants.
Correct.
He chooses every time. So if you'd been one more space up, you could have rolled 2 reds instead of rolling green.
Yes, which would have been the right maneuver here. It is why I'm using the green, because I cannot fail to get at least a single accuracy, which would give me the range I need, but it's really damage that I needed here.
Yeah, you really need to be able to take out one of those guards.
And the only... Yeah, that is not going to be enough.
3 damage is not quite 8.
That's not what I need. But I still got some more activations, so still got some guys left. So my thought here was that I'm going to move these Trandoshans up. I know that I can't get them in there to shoot you. It's way too far for me.
Yeah.
But my goal here was I was like, oh, I'll just put them in a place where you can't move through and score. What I failed to realize, as this was a very early game for us, was that although
this is one of your first handful of games.
Yeah, maybe game number 3 for me total, 2.
That's probably like my second game.
But I thought I was blocking not only line of sight, but also that you could not move through me.
Yeah.
I was soon to learn, however, that
I can walk right through you.
You can walk right through them. You have to spend an extra movement point to do so. But as we talked about earlier, you've got 5 movement points on each of those Royal Guards.
And I can take 2 moves.
And you can take 2 moves.
So that's 10.
Yeah, so you can easily get through. And it looks like I'm moving again. Oh, I thought maybe I could try to kill you here. I think that's what's going on. Doing the Trandoshans first.
So this is a new turn. We've readied everything, drawn our command cards. Initiative pass to you, and you're going to go with Trandoshans. Going to induce strain on my Royal Guards and potentially try to kill one of them. But if you don't kill a Royal Guard, I'm going to be able to activate my Royal Guards and score 20 points.
Yeah.
Here, which is crazy. Getting more than 20 points from scenario, getting 20 points from the scenario is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, then you only have to kill half my guys. You're halfway there.
Yeah, and it's the other part of that is it's really unlikely for you to kill Vader before he can score.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of health, and he's got those 2 black dice.
Yep, and he's gonna have the guards to boot. So if you can't kill the Royal Guard here, it's a problem because I'm probably gonna score 30 from the objective, and then I already have 3 points, so I need 7 more.
That's it. Yeah. And I have yet to kill a single model on your side yet. I've done a little bit of damage on that 1 Royal Guard, but he's got plenty of health left. Probably at least half. All right, so I did a little bit more damage there on that guard, but he is still alive.
Yeah, I think I'm grabbing a 5 token here. So he's got 5 damage, has 3 health left.
Yeah, so he's actually got a lot. But I'm moving up there. I
try
to do the
get
same.
this done.
Yeah. Now you'll notice that there is another mistake that was made here. Is that I was attempting to block your way, but as diagonals are adjacent in this game, you can just move around.
Right around.
You don't even need to go through my guy.
Yep. And that's what. So you could have, if you'd moved that Trandoshan back and you moved this one back,
you would have had to spend double the movement.
I would have had to spend double.
You still could have scored.
Yeah, I still would have scored, but it would have been double moves. In this case, because of your positioning, I'll be able to score and attack.
Yeah, no,
they have a good attack. They roll a red and a yellow.
It's real bad for me here.
It's really good. So that Royal Guard is now bleeding. With 6 damage.
He is, but he's still going to be alive. That'll only take him to 7 when he moves.
Unless I debleed.
Unless you debleed, which you could also do, and that's not particularly a problem. But yeah, as I can hear you saying...
This is going to get bad.
It's going to get bad. And it is, because those Royal Guards are now moving in. They're going to score.
All right, so he moves 4. Going to drop that off. I'm going to score 10 points from dropping that off.
Already. And you can see... And you've got reach now on these guys. They are melee only, these Royal Guards, but they have reach.
They can melee from 2
They
two
can.
spaces. Yeah.
So it looks like you're going to attack IG-88 there, Iggy.
I'm just tempting you.
Oh, is that what's going on here?
Well, he has Iggy. One of his surge abilities is recover. So if you take some damage, you can activate him to recover so he doesn't die. But I want to do just enough damage to make you
Trying to force me to use my activate.
Where it's like I could maybe move Vader in and kill you.
Unless
so you may as well
activate.
move, heal, kind of thing.
Which leaves Vader free to do whatever he wishes. Yeah.
One of the biggest parts of this game for me is activation, both economy and that's just having more activations than your opponent and using them correctly. But then also the order of the activations is critical. So another 10 points here. I'm at 23, advancing fast.
And as we saw, you just moved right around there, that corner.
Taking the damage from the bleed. Probably going to de-bleed here because if I do anything else, he will just die.
It's true. Oh, no, he's attacking, looks like. Yeah, he's... There he goes. There's the remember.
As soon as I go to roll, it's like, no, wait,
that would kill me.
Yeah.
No, it seems like the right choice. At least forcing me to attack him again if I want to kill him.
I'll tell you what would be really fun to watch during this series of games, because I know we've already recorded several of these, but
that's true.
Is watching your models get painted. Because like you'll see it progress throughout the thing. Like, have you painted Iggy yet? IG-88?
I have not painted IG, but I haven't been using him after this particular game.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I decided to wait and not play this list until it was actually
until I had
the boba.
Bubs. I will say of all the models, IG-88 was pretty straightforward because he's metal.
But he still looks quite good. You just give him a nice wash.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bronze in there.
I think you're attacking Vader, you wild man.
Well, yeah, I realize now that you're at 23 points. And
there's only one way to make this a win.
There's only one way to come back.
Dark Lord.
I got to get him. Got to kill him.
And that's no easy feat.
It is not. So, Vader, for defense, he's got those 2 black die and the ability to re-roll one of them.
And that's if he's not next to a guard getting the free block, too.
It's true.
He has good odds. Lots of armor.
Yeah, so I use the elite there to attempt to do some damage. But
you just poke and run.
Yeah, just to poke and run. But I'm still close enough for you to get me with the stormtroopers or even Vader if you want to use one of those Imperial officers.
All right, looks like I went with an officer to move that stormtrooper and move the officer next to the terminal, trying to get that stormtrooper back into the game, so to speak.
Back into the game, and you're also leaving the officer to keep control of that module to get that extra command card.
I'm a little surprised I went that way with the stormtrooper. If I gone the other way, I could have gotten actually into the action.
Yeah,
but
real soon.
I also would have maybe risked getting shot. So stormtroopers don't like getting shot, you know? They've gone through enough. They've lost enough.
Well,
enough
at least, yeah, they like being together as well. Yeah. And he was off alone. Not a good place for a stormtrooper.
I'll tell you what I've been thinking lately about this list.
The Vader's Fist.
The Vader's Fist.
Tell me about it.
I've been thinking about dropping the stormtroopers and an officer for another set of Royal Guards. Just saying. Stormtroopers are just more of a liability these days than they were early on. They just die so fast.
You know what? It really depends on what kind of, I think, now that we've gotten a little bit more into the game since this particular one was recorded.
This scenario.
I think they're great if you're utilizing them in specific ways. So if you're running command cards, if you're chunking grenades, for instance, if you're maybe trying reinforcements, they can really be worth their points.
In this list, they're just kind of not doing it.
If you aren't, then they're a little weaker. You can chunk them in there. I like them for doing what you did with them, right? For using them for extra command cards, and they weren't super necessary in this game as you're about to score a bunch more points, but for forcing me to use my activations to kill them, right? So even if they get taken out by a single shot, they forced me to do that, right? They forced me to use that activation.
I think for me though, it's just a matter of I think I'd be willing to give up an activation and an officer to have 2 more Royal Guards on the board. Like you get 2 guards over 3 stormtroopers and an officer. Royal Guards just that protect, and being able to send one from each squad together to protect each other. And they're fast, and they're hit hard, and they're strong, and they're hard to kill. Like, I think you'd spend more activations trying to kill a Royal Guard next to another Royal Guard than trying to kill the Stormtroopers.
Well, interestingly, it depends on what you're up against, right? Now, we have seen recently in games about how big of a deal blast damage is.
Oh, yes, we have.
And when I run my...
Tip, do not stand next to each other, ever. ever.
Yeah, so when I run my Imperial Guard list, I never have them standing next to each other. Almost never. If there's blast damage capable, because they're going to take more from blast than their little 1 extra shield is going to give them.
Yep. I mean, it depends on what you're...
It depends on what you're running against and what the opponent's got, but these days, standing next to each other is bad. Even if you're going against Imperial, even if you're going against Vader's Fist, he's probably running that command card. He's going to do some Force Lightning.
Yeah.
And you still don't want to be bunched up for that, because the stun can be worse than damage.
Man, Stormtrooper hitting for 4.
Yeah, he's shooting that elite probe droid pretty hard there. The other thing that I had forgotten in this particular game was that my probe droids have the ability to explode. I can move them up there and blow them up.
That's what they do.
However, mine, you'll notice, did not do any of that, as I had forgotten that was on their card.
Now, they do that at the end of the turn, right?
They do after every activation has been taken. So it looks like one of the regular droids is getting up in there, taking a shot.
That's going to be a dead Stormtrooper, by my count.
Looks like it. It's not too big of a loss. You've still got 2 more, and they've already activated this turn.
Yep. You know who hasn't activated?
I do. I see him there. He's threatening. It is
Vader.
the Vader.
He's going to go ahead and score 10 points here. Dropping off that objective, getting me to 33, and he gets to attack.
That brutality.
He's going to brutality. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen.
It looks bad. It is 33-0 right now. That Vader's Fist really punching down pretty hard. Forcing it. Oh, it's not too terrible of a roll there.
That's...
In that it is horrendous.
Yeah, that's about as bad as it can get. 1 surge and 1 damage on each of those dice. That is literally the worst side of every one of those dice.
Ludicrously bad, yeah.
That's cool. It's time for the probe droid to go down, right?
Yeah.
Right? Right, people at home, right? You would think so.
Well, look at those 3 blocks. Oh, and reversing it to that 6 damage and a surge. That is 1 dead probe droid.
Yeah, against IG-88, that would have been game.
That would have been game. It's basically game at the moment. But let's take a minute and talk about some of the things that we learned. Hopefully,
maybe we learned
from
about
this game.
And I mean, I think it's important. We talked about this after too, but like list construction and the capacity, like it's possible that you may have just not been able to do anything about this. But if that's the case, then it starts with your list, right?
It does. It does. We also talked. There were a couple times there, like with the trying to block the movement. Oh, look at that damage roll. It's not too shabby.
It's not shabby.
Yeah. No. I at the beginning of the game, I realized, or I thought that I realized, that I couldn't outspeed you, that I couldn't get there. But here's the thing: by not even trying, I just handed it to you.
Yep.
I gave you 30 points, and then
if you could have at least picked up one of them. Like, don't let me beat you to all 3 objectives.
It could have happened. And I could have done it. You saw that pro droid. I took a shot at your Imperial officer. Could have picked it up, forced you to go kill it, and pick it back. Like, you may have been able to do it, but it would have been tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's also... so you have that, right? Like,
yeah.
Not just letting me get through 3 objectives. But then you also have, just from a list construction standpoint, not having models that can go get it.
Like, I didn't have anything that could pick it up and live.
Yeah, like if you had a single like 5-speed or a 4-speed guy that could live, that could pick it up, you could officer him, move him, pick it up, and then just not straight up die. Because for me to move and pick up those things, it took my turn. Like Vader didn't attack, the Regards didn't attack.
It did. Now that said, I did have the Trandoshans. They are speed 4. They have a little bit less health there because these are regular Trandoshans, not the elites. So your Royal Guard has a speed on them, as well as some health. And reach. But the problem is that when you do your 1 officer move, he's going to go 5. When I do my officer move, I'm going 4.
Yep.
So you're still going to get there. So if I start doing it, if I start moving, so if I use my officer to make my Trandoshan go 4, you can still get there before me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I shouldn't be able to get to all 3 before.
No, that's correct, yeah.
Like, it's possible that I have the advantage because I can get 2 of them pretty easily.
But I did just let you have them.
Yeah, and I'm also spending my activations early on, picking those up and dropping those off, right? Whereas you could be spending your activations just attacking me the whole time.
Yeah.
So while I'm getting points from dropping that off, I'm also not... Like, if Vader drops that off, he spent the move and the pickup of the token.
Not killing people. Not brutalitying everywhere.
Yeah.
Looks like you're at 38 now. You killed another Imperial officer. So you're 2 points away now. Pretty much anything
model,
I
can just destroy.
Yeah. except for Trandoshan, because they.
Yeah, because I mean, even if let's presume that you scored one of those tokens, and I didn't. So now, even at this moment, I'm at 28. You're at 10.
Yeah. So now my decision here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now my decision here is that we got two guys that are close to death.
They can't.
So they can't die. I have to run. I got this Imperial officer who can also. I get one shot here, so I'm hoping that I get this X-Men.
If you get the old dodge, let's see if you do it.
I'm going for it. That is not going to do it.
Cancel a surge, cancel a damage. I don't think I...
And he's adding 2 damage. So
I think that's going to be
do it,
lights
man.
out.
Yeah, all right. And there it is.
Very good game, Rick. What would you say biggest takeaways from the game before we get out of here and the end of the next game?
Biggest takeaways. Let's really think about your list construction as we were just talking about. What you're bringing to the game. A lot of these scenarios, we didn't know which scenario we were going into. But a lot of, in fact, the vast majority of the scenarios in the base game and the first few expansions are speed-based. They're about getting to things first and either picking them up or activating them, doing something. So getting there fast and then being able to stick around for a bit.
Speed and the capacity to not die immediately is a big deal.
Which is one reason why those Royal Guards are so great. But when you have a
list
list that doesn't do
so good, right? Is
it's
that
true.
You can move a guy in who couldn't normally get there.
But if you have a list like I brought here, that is full of things that are both slow and relatively easy to kill.
Why are you running them?
You're gonna be in some trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, probe droids have great offense, and they do some interesting things, so they're worth running. But you were overloaded on them. They just weren't bringing the heat like you needed them to. So
it's true.
We'll see if Boba Fett changes the list. We'll catch you guys on the next game of Imperial Assault, which we'll have coming very soon.
Indeed.
If you need anything related to Imperial Assault, check us out, teamcovenant.com. We would love to see an order from you or comments on the videos. If you have any thoughts on this game, please comment on the video, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, even if you have a list you'd like to see us run.
Especially if you have a list you'd like to see us run, maybe we'll run it in a video, and we'll catch you guys next time.